Here we are again. There's the rig. You guys know what's going on. We've got a couple of long distance cameras today. One facing up to my right, up into the trees, up to the top of the ridge, and one facing that way at long distance at a bare patch on the other side of the hill. So that's going to be interesting. Anyway, let's see what happens. Unfortunately, we didn't get anything cool on the cameras, and now's the time I have to persist and push. We did get some interesting audio though. On the first day at 12:02 PM, we collected double wood knocks coming from different directions. Now, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to wood knocks, but these ones stick out. And here's the numbers. Not long after at 12:13 PM, there were two more wood knocks with a huff on the end. On the third day at 7:05 AM, we collected barking and whistles. On the third night at 9:26 PM, we collected banging and what sounds like stomping shortly after each bang. There were 105 banging noises all up over a period of 27 minutes, but the stomping sounds stop after 22 bangs. On the seventh morning at 1 AM, my talking clock activated as it does each hour, and something started stomping in the background.
It is 1 o'clock AM.
We also collected another lyrebird mimicking the barking and whistles. I do catch it all the time, but I've included this one because it's so clear. I don't know if you can hear those birds in the background, the currawongs, getting upset about something. I've heard it that many times. When I first got here, it was over there. Now it's moving that way. And it is freaking me out because I know what he's chasing. And he just keeps going on and on and on. And that's just, that's putting the wind up me. So I'm not going to put my gear here. I've gone to a lot of trouble this morning and yesterday to get everything up and running so I can deploy here. I've been here before, I found the place, I found the right place to go. And I'm just not going to do it. I'm getting a bad feeling. Anyway, I'll go somewhere else. So, got a bit scared off in that other place, so I didn't have any alternative but to go to somewhere I know, and that's because this gives our cameras the best chance. So I'm somewhere I've actually been before, and it's where I got that, the dark figure. So I have cameras facing up in the forest to where it was, but as you can see, I can't see behind, I can't see this way, so I've only got 5 cameras going. But anyway, you can see that new addition on the top. That is 4 separate audio recorders. We're calling that the front, we're calling that way the front. Right, left, back. So that's going to give us direction. And if we're getting movement, we're going to be able to see some sort of behaviour. That's what I want to see. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's see how it goes. Three sets of calls and one vague piece of footage in this area. On the third afternoon at 4:34 p.m, we collected what sounds like whoops or something similar. Now that we have 4 audio recorders, it's possible to calculate where these calls are coming from. The calls we've just heard are coming from this direction at over 100 metres away. 18 minutes later, we collected barking. The calculations indicating it's coming from the same area. On the fourth afternoon at 5:28 p.m, we collected 2 lots of calls 1 minute apart. In the first part of the recording, there's one bark followed by a lyrebird's warning whistle. In the second part of the recording, we collected another bark with what sounds like stomping, followed again by 2 warning whistles from the lyrebird. The interesting thing is that in the 1 minute between the calls, both subjects move in opposite directions. Now, if that's not a lyrebird avoiding a predator, then I don't know what it is. And this is what I mean about behaviour. On the first day at 11:47 a.m, the plot watchers caught this, which is actually a bird. At the precise time, the audio recorders picked up one faint call from a currawong. When I checked the CCTV, something looked like it ran past the exact place moments before the bird appears. It seems to be moving upright and very quickly from left to right, then the bird appears. It might be something, it might be nothing. Now with the calculations, directions, there's going to be multiple factors that are going to be playing a part, but these calculations are going to be a general idea of where the noises are coming from. Morning, here we go again. We're in a new place today. I haven't actually been anywhere near here before. I've heard some barking this morning and possibly a call. Sounds like there's something here, off at a distance. And I've just about had enough. It's too much. There's too much weight to carry. There's too much to carry. It's too big. It's too heavy. And I'm only one person, and yeah, I've just about had enough. So anyway, let's see what happens. We collected barking on the second morning at 8:50 a.m. The calculations indicate it's coming from the southwest at around 80 metres. I had no idea this was happening from such a great distance. More barking on the fourth morning at 9:15 a.m. The calculations indicate it's coming from the southwest again, but this time at 117 metres. Because it's happening from the same direction, but at a longer distance, the barking subject appears to show more caution. More barking on the fifth morning at 9:52 a.m. I couldn't calculate this one because not all the audio recorders were working. We collected what originally appeared to be something interesting walking around the gear late in the afternoon during daylight hours. After checking the footage, I found a wallaby on the time-lapse cameras and on the CCTV cameras at the same time. To my complete horror, it suddenly dawned on me that the baseline for the charts I've been using is incorrect and that the wallaby was much heavier than the original trail cam audio. I went out into the forest with all 4 trail cams and all 4 audio recorders to check how far out it actually was. To my complete surprise, it was out by a whopping 76%. If this channel is a car, then I think we just crashed.
This is the new chart showing the wallaby we just caught off the audio recorders, which shows an average impact of around 2000 Hz, which I thought wasn't so bad. I went back into the forest again, and on the 23rd or 24th of December collected the results. This is our new wallaby, which has an average impact of around 1500 Hz. Right at this point, all the information was saying that all the impact charts were still correct. I went into the forest again to collect more data, and on the morning of the 3rd of January collected the results. This is the latest wallaby I've collected on the audio recorders, and this is what he looks like on a chart. His average impacts are 96 Hz. Going off the original data, that's a heavier impact than myself. To sum things up, all the impact charts are wrong. So here's where I went wrong. The audio recorders are recording at a rate of 44 kHz. The trail cameras are also recording at a rate of 44 kHz. I did check this before I started all the impact charts, so it never dawned on me that there would be a difference between the two, but there was. What I didn't notice was the bit rate. The audio on the trail cameras is 64 kilobytes per second. The audio from the audio recorders is 192 kilobytes per second. So the audio recorders are collecting much more information than the trail cameras, and that's where I went wrong. So all my calculations were correct, but they were based on half the information. The stride length or step length charts are still correct because they only rely on time, and we can still use the latest wallabies to add to the chart. I'm not sure what to say, but I've unwittingly misled my viewers. But I can assure you it wasn't intentional, and I've actually unwittingly misled myself. I was feeling gutted about the whole thing till I had a look at what science got wrong. It looks like I found out the hard way that this is how science works. As I mentioned before, there's still places I can deploy the recorders because they're so small, which means we'll still be collecting footsteps. But one of the problems with the impact charts is that I'm not taking into account the distance of unknown subjects. I went back into the forest again and measured the distance of each wallaby I collected. I also measured myself at every 2 meters from the recent walk test I did and put the figures into a 3-dimensional chart. This is what the new chart looks like, with a fake column in blue to represent what we may find. The difference between myself and the wallabies over a distance is very noticeable because I have a heavier impact. If you feel like I've misled you, then I apologise, and I'll be making the necessary corrections on the previous videos. The new directional calculations are already showing some interesting results, but I'm going to test it in the field to see how close my calculations actually are. In the next video, we'll be having a walkthrough of the last 7 or 8 years. I've been sorting through the files and have found some interesting stuff that I've forgotten about, so you'll see things that you haven't seen before. My apologies, and thanks for watching.